One of the hardest parts about fighting games starts before you even play the game, and that is picking your character. And unlike a lot of other games, all the characters are very different. Some are very hard to play, some are very easy to play, so it can be kind of hard to figure out which character to start with. So don't worry if your character is listed as a very hard character to play, we're gonna make sure that you get there eventually, but maybe you should start off with somebody else. And in this video, I'm gonna be giving you my suggestions for characters to start with, depending on your playstyle or what character you want to play and things like that. Because trust me, I know it can be frustrating going online and you're constantly losing and you're not really sure why or how to get better. I think if you're stuck in that boat, you should start off with an easier character and kind of work your way up to the character that you really want to play. And just so you guys know, I am filming this a day before the game actually relaunches, so that's why you don't see all the characters here, but I will be talking about the 3 new characters at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So anyways, let's talk about the 4 classes in this game and talk about the different playstyles and kind of figure out what it is that you're looking for. One big change from the open beta is that the support class is no longer a class in the game. A lot of the supports got moved to other classes like tank and things like that, so they just kind of completely got rid of the support role. That being said, a lot of those characters still kind of play the same, so I mean, it's just like a different name basically. The first class in the game is the Bruiser class, and these are characters that usually play kind of up close, but they're also well-rounded overall. When you think of a Bruiser, you kind of think of a character maybe like Mario and Smash, where you're kind of up close, you have a lot of easier combos, you also have a projectile, so you can kind of zone a little bit. You can kind of do it all. You're not like the best at zoning, you're not the best at fighting up close necessarily, but you kind of like that all-arounder kind of character. Characters that fall in the Bruiser category are Jake, Banana Guard, Morty, Batman, Black Adam, LeBron, Shaggy, Garnet, and Taz. The next category is the Assassin class, and this is for characters that really play up close and they kind of struggle more so long range. Pretty much most of the sword characters kind of fall in this category, so if you like sword characters, this is probably the category for you. And in this category we have Stripe, Arya, Harley Quinn, Marvin, and Finn. After that we have the tank category. These are characters that are heavier, they get comboed pretty easily, but they kind of just live forever. These are characters that are really good for doubles, especially sometimes because you can kind of just support your teammate by staying alive on the map, but sometimes these characters can struggle more in singles. And the characters in this category are Steven, who switched from the support class. We also have Jason, we have Superman, Wonder Woman, and Iron Giant. And last but not least, my favorite class is the Mage class. These are the ranged characters, the ones that like to be far away and shooting their projectiles and kind of just staying away from people. They can still fight up close, but sometimes they kind of struggle a little bit more with that. And in this class we have Rain Dog, we have Rick, we have Velma, we've got Gizmo, Joker, Bugs Bunny, and Tom and Jerry. Those are kind of the 4 categories that we have. We have Bruiser, the more all-arounder class. We have Assassin, the up-close and personal class. We have Tank, the class that likes to stick around forever. And we have the Mage class, the more ranged class. So let's go ahead and go through all 4 classes, and I will give you guys my recommendations on who you should start out playing with. Whether you're new to the game, you're struggling to kind of win, I'll give you guys my recommendations on which characters are probably the easiest to learn for that class. And again, you can work your way up to any character you want, right? Like let's say you really want to play Rick, right? He's definitely a harder character to learn, so maybe you should start off with an easier character, get used to them, and then kind of work your way up to Rick. So let's go ahead and start out with the Bruiser class, and right off the bat, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the tutorial character, and that of course is Shaggy. Now the thing about Shaggy is I feel like he kind of has it all for a character. He's a very good character, at least in the open beta he was, because he can really get some easy combos going. He also has a projectile, so you can kind of learn to balance that. He also has like a little charge meter, so you can kind of learn to utilize that as well. He has a lot of good stuff that kind of teaches you how to play the game. Like really, you can kind of just go up to somebody and start pressing buttons, and then you'll realize that a lot of his stuff kind of just connects together. Go for a couple up tilts here, a couple swings. A lot of his stuff kind of just connects together. And like I said, he also has a projectile, which is really nice because not every character in the game has a projectile. I always like having one just because it kind of gives you options. You can kind of sit back a little bit sometimes, kind of learn how to pick your fights, right? Sometimes you want to be up close, but sometimes it's good to kind of just sit back a little bit as well, and it's good to have that option to do that. I think in general, if you were to pick Shaggy, this is a character where you're gonna kind of learn as you go. You're gonna learn a lot of stuff kind of connects together as far as combos and stuff goes, and over time you're gonna get a lot better with him. You're gonna learn better combo strings. You're gonna learn how to move around with him, when to utilize your charge attack like this, when to cancel it. You're gonna learn all that kind of stuff. He's also not like a super heavy or big character necessarily, so you shouldn't be getting comboed as if you were like Iron Giant. He's like that medium weight kind of character, and he kind of has it all. So this will be one of those characters that when the game fully launches, I'm sure people are going to be dropping guides about different characters, things like that. So go ahead and watch some of those, learn the combo strings. He's going to have some pretty basic combos that you can pull off, and you can kind of go for that early on. And the more consistent you get with that, the more you can kind of learn those harder combo strings. But overall, I think Shaggy's one of the easier characters to learn in this game, and he's just a great character in general, regardless of what class you're trying to learn. I think he's just a great character in general to learn. I will say his recovery is not necessarily the best. You'll kind of have to learn as you go. There are characters with better recoveries, but it's not awful, and you know, the more you play, the more you're gonna kind of figure out how to mix up your recovery options. Now, the other bruiser that I would highly recommend is Jake. This is another character that I think is pretty simple to learn in general. I know a lot of people in the open beta really play Jake. At the top level and at the entry level, this is one of those characters that, you know, you can kind of learn the basics pretty easy, and as you kind of play him more, you'll get a lot better with him. You know, he was a very good character in the open beta as well, so I can't imagine that he's going to be bad in the full launch of the game, but we'll have to wait and see. One of the reasons why Jake is so good is because he has a lot of tools to kind of sit back. Even though he is a bruiser and, you know, he doesn't really have projectiles, all his moves are ranged like pretty far. He's got really long, strong attacks right here, and he's also got this little escape tool right here, turning into the horse, so a lot of times he can kind of just get away from stuff. He's also got that classic Kirby down B right here, so you know, newer players love to spam that, but it's actually good, unlike Kirby's down special. And in general, he just has like a lot of big moves that like you can kind of just go in, you can kind of sit back, you can just do all kinds of things with this character. And kind of similar to Shaggy, he has a lot of stuff that kind of just connects, and you can kind of like learn pretty fast on how to like get people off stage and kind of go for those kills. One of the easiest ways is, of course, his down air, the skateboard. This is like one of the most annoying moves in the game. It's very good. It combos into stuff as well, so that's kind of one of his signature moves right there. So I think if you're looking to play the bruiser class and you want kind of a more combo heavy character, I definitely recommend Shaggy. If you want a character that can kind of like do it all, I definitely recommend Jake. Again, he doesn't have a projectile, but I mean, he's got all kinds of things like that just make him really good. He's got an insane recovery, he's got ranged moves, he's got all kinds of stuff. As far as the other bruisers go, I think Morty and LeBron are definitely harder characters to play. There's a lot more thinking involved as far as like what you can do and when you can do it. I think Batman can also be a good kind of starter character as well. Can be a little bit more difficult to learn, but I know a lot of people play Batman and you know they kind of figure it out pretty fast, but he's definitely got a little bit more involved than a character like Shaggy or Jake, I feel like. I do think Black Adam could be another good character to kind of start off learning, but I definitely recommend Shaggy or Jake over Black Adam. But this is a character that has, again, a little bit more going on than those characters, I feel like, so it can be, you know, a little bit harder to kind of figure out right away, but overall, I don't think he's like too hard to learn. Garnet is also not necessarily a bad character to start off with, but I do think she's kind of more of a like doubles focused character, I would say. She has a lot of stuff that like kind of, I wouldn't say exclusively works in doubles, but I think a lot of her stuff kind of like benefits doubles more than singles. So if you're looking to play singles, I wouldn't really recommend this character. But if you're looking to play doubles, this would be a great character to kind of start off with too. And then there's also my boy Taz. This was my original main as well. He's not hard to use whatsoever, but again, this is one of those characters that kind of has like an obvious weakness. And again, I don't know how they're going to change it, you know, with the official launch of the game. I'm sure some of these characters are going to be different. They're not all going to be where they were on the tier list before. But this is a character that really struggled in singles because he doesn't really have like the range to keep up with other characters. A lot of times you can kind of just get zoned out by characters. Like they can literally just stay away from you, and there's not much you can do with Taz. You know, your main attack is going to be Tornado, which they nerf. You've also got your up special, which has a crazy cooldown on it. So they really kind of nerfed Taz a lot. And so in singles, I remember he was like not the best character. So this is one of those characters is very easy to learn. He's just maybe not the best character in the game, and of course that could change. So you know, if you're a Taz player, you want to play Taz, go right ahead. This is a good character to use, but he's just like not the best character right now in singles. So I'm really hoping they buff him. I really do. So like I said, Taz is a simple character to learn, in my opinion. It's just not always the easiest to win with him, especially against like better players. So if you're looking to win, I probably don't recommend Taz, but if you're looking for a character just to learn, I think he could be a good one. So out of the Bruiser class, the two characters I recommend for newer players or characters just trying to learn the game, I would say Shaggy and Jake are the way to go. If you want to focus more on combos and things like that, go ahead and pick Shaggy, and if you want to focus on a character that can kind of just do it all, go ahead and pick Jake. Next up is the Assassin class, and right off the bat, the main character I am going to suggest for newer players is going to be Finn. Now Finn was probably the most popular character in the open beta. I feel like everybody played Finn back then. And he's kind of like your basic sword fighter, but again, he does have a lot of other tools that just make him really good. Now, one of the cool things about Finn is that he does use his sword for a lot of his attacks. So, you know, if you're looking for a sword character, I definitely recommend Finn. He is like the staple sword character right now in the game. I'm sure we're gonna get more sword characters soon, actually, because we really don't have a lot. But yeah, he is like the sword character, so if that's what you're looking to play, then I definitely recommend Finn. He's just got really good range, and he has a lot of other cool stuff that make him very unique. One of the things that makes him really unique is the gold feature, so whenever you're getting hits on people, if I can even land a hit, whenever you're getting hits on people, you're gonna collect gold. And then he has this little shop mechanic where you can buy different things here. Now they are changing it because before, one of the things you could do is like use your gold to throw out a gem. And then you can like teleport to your gem and kind of like fly around the map. I know they are changing that, they're getting rid of the gem, so he is going to be a little bit different with the relaunch of the game. But I'm sure he's still going to be a very strong character, and this is definitely the character to pick up if you're like trying to pick up the fundamentals of using a sword character. He's got a lot of really cool combos, and he's just a really strong character overall. The other assassin I would recommend would be Harley Quinn. She's a little bit different. She's got some like projectiles, she's got some like traps around the map, different things like that. But overall, she's a good character to kind of pick up. You'll kind of like learn how to really kind of like set up your combos into like your traps and things like that. She's got some really strong moves. Her bat is like insane. It kills very early off the top, so she can be like a little bit more tricky to kind of figure out at first. But I definitely think if you're one of those players that likes to like set up traps around the map and like, you know, use that to your advantage, then this is the character for you. A lot of times your stuff can just connect like that. Now Arya can be a little bit more difficult to kind of learn. If I had any comparison to Smash, I would compare her to Sheik as far as like a heavy combo character. You're going for a lot of combo strings and different setups that you have to figure out. So this is a character that's probably going to take some time to learn, just because you know, you got to kind of figure out how everything connects together, and that can kind of take some time to really fully optimize this character right here. One of her big features is this dagger right here, and it's one of those things where it will stick to the person, and then when you use it again, you kind of like teleport over there. So it's a good way to kind of like mix it up into your combo strings and kind of like figure out when you have to use that or when's the best time to use that. And a lot of times that can be kind of harder for newer players. So this is definitely a character I would recommend kind of waiting on if you're new to the game. And then there's also Marvin, who is also listed as an assassin. And this is kind of, I would say similar to Garnet, where this is kind of more of a doubles character. He can be good in singles as well, but I do think that a lot of his features are like kind of brought out in doubles. He's got a lot of cool stuff over there, and he's kind of just a strange character in general. He does have a lot of projectiles and things like that, but I feel like a lot of his stuff kind of works better in doubles. You know, like you're throwing stuff out, it'll accidentally hit people, like you and your teammate can kind of benefit off of it. I think in singles it's a little bit more like linear, like where you can see stuff coming and you can kind of just like avoid it. He's kind of just got like a lot going on, so I definitely think this is a character that, like, if you're playing doubles, I think that the time putting into this character would definitely be worth it. But in singles, I would kind of maybe stay away from Marvin a little bit. And last up is Stripe, who is another character with multiple projectiles and things kind of going on. You can blow yourself up, you can fly across the map, you got the razor blade right here, you got all kinds of things going on. And he's also got his little gun right here, so anytime you hit somebody, they have this like lock-on feature and you can like basically shoot them afterwards. And I would compare him a little bit to Harley Quinn as far as like all the different stuff you can set up, the fact that you can kind of like go up close, knock people into things, all that kind of stuff. I would say between the two of them, Harley might be a little bit easier to learn, but I do think that Stripe is kind of very similar to her. So I think if you're new to the game, you could definitely pick up Stripe kind of right off the bat, but again, it would kind of like take some time to really like fully utilize the character. So if you want to play the assassin class and you're newer to the game, I definitely recommend picking up either Finn or Harley Quinn. If you're wanting a sword character, go ahead and pick up Finn, and if you're wanting a character that can kind of like set up traps, do all that kind of stuff, definitely pick Harley Quinn. I don't know why my game bugged out and I'm seeing this little like target symbol here, but just go ahead and ignore that for now. The next class is going to be the tank class, and right off the bat, if you are new to the game, I highly recommend staying away from Iron Giant. He is like no other character in this game. He's very, very big, he's very, very slow, and he can just be kind of confusing at first. He can definitely struggle a lot in singles just because he's so big, which means that you'll get comboed forever. And especially if you're new to the game, you'll definitely get comboed forever. So I think if you're newer to the game, I definitely recommend only using him in doubles, and even then, it's going to be kind of hard to figure out at first. He's still a cool character, but he's just very big, very easy to combo, and it can just be kind of frustrating for newer players when you're getting comboed like for days. The other tank that's kind of more doubles focused in my opinion would be Steven. He's got a lot of stuff to kind of support your teammate. Kind of same thing I've been saying about some other characters. So I think in singles, this is not necessarily the best character to pick, but if you're playing doubles, he can be a very good pick. And again, I'm not saying these characters are necessarily bad in singles in general. What I'm saying is, like, if you're newer to the game, you know, They've got a lot of things that kind of only benefit or mostly benefit doubles, so you're going to feel kind of limited because you're not going to be able to do everything. So for a character like Steven, I would definitely recommend him mostly for doubles, and I would kind of just wait to pick him up. Now Wonder Woman is another one of the big sword characters, but she is classified as a tank, and I highly recommend her as a beginner character. Again, she's a sword character, so you're going to figure out real quickly how to use a sword character, but she's also very tanky. She has her shields right here, she's got her like whip, so she's kind of like long range a little bit, and overall she's a great character in singles and doubles. There's a lot that she can do. She's got some pretty easy combo strings and a lot of cool setups, so I definitely recommend her as a starter character. So one of the cool things she does have is the whip, like I said, and it's going to pull people straight in. You can combo right off the bat and kind of learn how to combo characters, and you're going to live forever because she's very tanky, so this is a great pick right here for starters. The other tank, of course, that I would recommend is Superman. You can go ahead and sit up here, spam laser. That's what they all do, right? Go ahead and spam laser, grab people off stage, fly around the map. This character can do it all. But for out of all like the big superheroes, I think Superman is definitely the pick. You're going to learn how to zone with the laser a little bit. You're going to learn about that frost breath. You got it all. The big thing to remember about Superman is that he does have more than just 2 moves. So while it is tempting to just fly around and laser like that, he's got a lot of stuff where he can go up close and really punish people for that as well. So this is a character where you definitely have to utilize all your resources to be like the strongest. But he's definitely a great pickup for starters, I would say. So if you're gonna play tank, I definitely recommend one of these 2 characters right here. Go ahead and pick up Superman if you want to be a little bit more up close, and go ahead and pick Wonder Woman if you're looking for more of a sword character. And last up is the mage class, my personal favorite class, and there are a lot of characters in this class, so I'm gonna go through these kind of quickly. Right off the bat, Rain Dog is a very fun character, but again, another like more so doubles focused character, right? You got your tether, which is specifically there to help teammates. So I definitely recommend this character only in doubles. I know a lot of people are going to look at this game right off the bat, they're going to want to play Rick, but he is definitely a harder character to play. He's got a lot to think about. He's got a lot of different things going on, so I definitely recommend staying away from him if you're new to the game. You're going to want to play one of the other mages that I'm going to talk about just to kind of learn the class first, and then once you feel comfortable with that, that's what I would recommend transitioning over to Rick. He can just be kind of tricky to figure out at first. And that can also kind of be true for Tom and Jerry. This is my main right here. I don't think he's as hard as Rick. He's not like on surface level that difficult, but the thing that makes him kind of hard to kind of figure out, I guess, is that when Jerry is like away from you, you can really utilize his quirk right there to kind of like, you know, set up for other things. So it can be kind of tricky because you have to like manage Jerry, right? Like if Jerry dies, you're a lot more limited on what you can do. You can't do a lot of the things that you would be able to do with Jerry. But overall, a lot of this stuff is like pretty basic to go for. Like you go for down air, you go for slingshot, you can just spam that basically. It's got a lot of like kind of easier setups than Rick, I would say. So I would say probably don't start off with Tom and Jerry, but this is definitely a character that you can kind of pick up pretty quickly after you kind of learn the mage class. I think before you pick up a character like Tom and Jerry, it would be better to choose something like Bugs. This is a character that has projectiles that are very good as well. You got like your dig right here. You got all kinds of different things. You got your rocket, that's a very strong attack, and you've got your insane baseball bat where you can just do this all day basically. But yeah, he's just got like a lot of like kind of easy setups, I feel like, that you can kind of like learn pretty quickly, and he has those projectiles of a mage where he can kind of just sit back as well. It's going to take a minute to kind of learn all his different projectiles and what they do, but once you figure that out, you're going to realize that this character has a lot of options, so he can be very good to kind of pick up early on. Now Velma is another character that was very broken originally when the game first launched, and over time she was still very good. They just changed her up a little bit. She's a character that's also very good in doubles, I would say, mainly because of her laser right here, which goes across, you know, the entire map right here. That's one of the things that made her very good, but she's a character that I think you can pick up pretty quickly. She's got some like different things going on with the clues and all that, but she's got some very basic stuff like flashlight, which are like really good to kind of just go at people with. Again, I would mostly recommend her for doubles as well, but I do think that she can be a good character in singles too. So I don't think she's like the hardest character to pick up, but she will have some stuff that you need to learn first. And last up is Gizmo, another character that I really enjoy personally. This is a character that I definitely do recommend if you are new to the game. His projectiles are very simple to learn. He's got his little car right here, which you can jump out of. He's got his arrows, and if you charge them up, they turn into fire arrows. And so you can do stuff like set popcorn up, shoot it with the arrow. Oops. And it's just like a better projectile basically. I think his stuff is like really easy to learn. He's very small, so you're not gonna get comboed all day. He's got great recovery tools with his umbrella. You can kind of just float around, do different things. I think if you're looking to play the mage class, this is definitely one that I would start with. And so in general, if you're looking to play the mage class, I either recommend Gizmo or Bugs. I think Gizmo would honestly be the best one to start off with. He's very simple to learn. He's got really easy to learn projectiles that are very strong. He's also a really good character in doubles in general. And with Bugs, he's just got a lot of really good tools in general that are going to take a little bit of time to learn, but I think you can learn them pretty quickly as a newer player. So I think either one you go with, you're going to be fine. And now last up, we need to talk about the 3 new characters. So first up, we're going to talk about Joker. He is in the mage class. And again, I obviously have not played these characters yet, so I'm kind of going based off of what I've seen with them. I think Joker is going to be a character that out of the 3 of them is probably the hardest to learn. I don't think he's going to be very difficult, but I do think that he's going to have a lot more involved with him. And you can kind of see for yourself. You can go on the official MultiVersus YouTube channel and kind of check out his full moveset here. His moveset is honestly not too crazy. He does use the crowbar a lot, which is going to be kind of nice because it's just a very good and strong move, it looks like. He's got the pogo stick, which is really cool as well. So I would definitely add him to that list of mages that are a little bit easier to learn rather than harder. I think in general, he's not going to be too crazy to learn. Next up is Jason, who is in the tank category, and this is a character that I do think is going to be on the easier side to learn. He really looks like he just kind of hits hard, and he's got his axe, he's got his machete, and it almost looks like he's a hybrid between Superman and just a sword character in general. He also has a lot of moves that kind of just grab you, like almost like a grappler, I want to say. He's got like 3 moves that do that right here. So I definitely think he's more of an up-close kind of tank. I think he's a character that you could definitely kind of pick up pretty early on. And he has a teleport, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, with Jason, I definitely recommend trying him out and seeing if you like him. And last up is Banana Guard, who I think is going to be probably the easiest out of the 3 to learn. He's just kind of a basic character with a spear. He's got some little random things that he can do. He can lift weights to kind of give himself a buff, kind of similar to how Shaggy has his little way to get a buff. But overall, it seems like he's very simple to learn, and from what I've heard and what I've seen, he's actually a pretty decent character. So if you're looking for more of a kind of sword character as well, I definitely recommend picking up Banana Guard. It looks like he's going to be very simple to learn, and it looks like it could be a lot of fun. But yeah, those are just kind of my thoughts on the characters that I think are going to be a little bit easier to pick up if you're newer to the game, and who you should kind of avoid if you're just starting out. But of course, you're the one playing the game, so you can pick any character that you want. So if you really want to play Rick and you're new to the game, but you know, you're only playing this game because of Rick, then just go play Rick. This video is more so for people that are just kind of struggling to figure out which character to pick, or like who to start out with because they're losing, or you know, things like that. And again, I'm filming this a day before the game actually launches, so I'll probably like upload an update video maybe like a month from now and kind of, you know, redo this with all the changes in the game. But this is kind of just going into the launch of MultiVersus, what I'm expecting and what I've kind of known from the past. With that being said, go ahead and let me know in the comments who you plan on playing with this game. I know myself, I am a Tom and Jerry player, and I also play a lot of Gizmo, but I'm looking forward to Banana Guard too. I think we've got a lot of exciting changes coming in MultiVersus, and I am very excited to play the game tomorrow. So if you want to hang out in my live streams, come talk in the chat, or watch the rest of my videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fun time playing the game. Go ahead and let me know how it's going in the comments. And other than that, I've got nothing for you guys, so I'll catch you in the next one.